G'day, let's have a look at this Wera ratcheting bit holder. So this one is the 816 RA model, which means the full size handle. So if you actually compare that to a normal full size screwdriver, we can see that the handle size there is exactly the same. Obviously this just has the ratcheting mechanism out the front. But as far as the actual grip of the handle is concerned, it's really nice. It's again the full size. So these Wera ones are really comfortable for me. I really like them. The kind of three fingers fit there really nicely. You got the back one there and you kind of just hold it really nice. And it just seems to fit my hand really well. So obviously key feature of this is ratcheting. So you've got that mechanism at the front, the metal bit. So 0 is locked and then you've got left and you've got right. So you just kind of flick that and then that'll change the ratcheting of it. The very first thing you'll notice though is when you do pick this up compared to a normal screwdriver is it's quite a bit heavier. So this mechanism out the front, it's got a metal ring all the way around on the front, and then inside it's actually got metal gears as well. So this one specifically is got 44 teeth on the inside, so 44 little clicks or steps, and it's rated for 50 Newton meters of torque. So plenty of torque. You're not really going to end up stripping this out for just everyday stuff that you use it. As I said, the handle is the same as the normal Wera range. The only thing is this one just tends to roll a little bit easier. So when you put them down, it's kind of hard to demonstrate here, but that one just rolls slightly further. So the Wera has this hex design at the front, so it'll kind of anti-roll feature. It will stop the rolling, and it usually works pretty well. At least if you put it down on relatively level surface, it's not really going to roll. But what I find with this one is because it's got so much more weight here, it's got a lot more inertia. So when you put it down, it just keeps rolling a lot further, keeps that momentum going, and there you go, you can see that it just rolls a bit further. So not really a big deal, but just something to note with this. So now at the front, this is called a bit holder because it takes bits out the front. So when you buy this, this one specifically just came in one piece, so this was all that came in the package because I didn't need those extra bits. I've got plenty of these other ones. So this is just another set from Wera. This is a slightly more compact handle, and we can see that the yellow color there is the ESD rating, so this is an ESD safe one. The green color on this just means it's the general set, so the general Wera screwdriver, same as kind of what these ones are. Wera has a really nice color coding feature, so they color code their handles depending on what the screwdrivers are. So that one's a VDE and it's got that red and yellow coding. Wera has a really big range, so if you do want to check that out, I made a video, so I put a link to that one. Check that out and see what all the handles and colors mean. But either way, with this one, you can basically just take any of these hex bits and it'll fit right in. So at the front, you can slide this forward, and it's got this little locking mechanism. So you can slide it forward to put a bit in, and you hear that nice click, it locks clicked, and then you just pull it forward to take it out. But you don't actually need to pull that forward. So if you, for whatever reason, it's kind of down the bottom, you can literally just take a bit, push it and slide it right in, which is really handy, so you just don't have to do that every time. And then that bit locks in really nicely, and then that will not come out until you pull that forward. And there you go, sometimes it actually just ejects that out. Either way, that bit is then in there. This is really nice. You can then use a kind of a portable set and use whatever you want. You can use these other bits as well. This is just a Wera range, a diamond range, but these are a lot shorter, so that'll slide right in as well. And you can see it locks in place, and that holds it in really well, even though these ones don't actually have that slot. So you can see these ones have that little slot there. These ones don't, but the mechanism in here will still hold that in really nicely. So just while I have this, I just want to have a quick look. So this is a stubby version of it, and the stubby version just has a magnet out the front. So you can see inside there, it's got a little magnet, and it just holds that in. And then it's got the same ratcheting mechanism. The only thing I have actually noticed is this one here isn't as smooth. So let me put that one in there. If you compare that and click the click of this, and the clicking of that, you can hear that this one has just a finer click, so it's got more teeth. And that makes sense because the smaller teeth, you can transfer less torque, but on a stubby, you want to have more so that that return angle is smaller, so you can just turn it less and then come back and actually ratchet it. But the torque rating of this one will be smaller than the 50 Newton meters of this one. So this will just have slightly bigger teeth on the inside. And that's why it's got those bigger click there, but because it's a full-size handle, you can generally have more space to actually turn that. And again, these ones in here are all interchangeable, so any bits will be fine in here as well. So that just comes in, locks it in, and that's really nice. If you've got other bits, I've got some Milwaukee ones here, that also works fine as well. So you can just grab that, chuck it in, and you're nice and done. So the really nice thing with this is, obviously it takes any of these bits, but what you can do is if you've just got an impact, you can just have one set of bits that are actually impact rated, as these black ones are, and then just have a handle. So if you don't use a normal screwdriver often, just have one of these handles, have a set of these bits that you use anyway, and then you can just interchange that between your impact and your actual screwdriver. All right, so I've kind of gone through most of the features. One thing that I did want to actually mention, so let's do a quick demo of this. Grab a Phillips, I think that's a Phillips 2 anyway. So once you lock that in, the thing to note is it is a little bit wobbly. So I'm not sure how well that'll show up on camera anyway, but there's probably a few millimeters at the end of the shaft there. Obviously, the shorter the shaft, the less the wobble. But it can get a little bit annoying. So the other thing here is that works really nice. You've got that ratcheting for it, come nice and quick and tighten it, and that's all good. So what happens here is though, if you do end up locking this, there is a little bit of play in the handle. So you can see that wobble there. There's, I'd say, almost probably 5 millimeters of actual wobble on that due to this mechanism on the inside. So let's compare that to this one. Yeah, I'd say about the same. So there's quite a little bit of wobble. So what that just means is just as you're screwing, you're going to have a little bit of losses in there. So because of this ratcheting mechanism, you're going to have to actually work a little bit harder to get it screwed in as you would with a normal screwdriver. And that's just simply because of that noise and the heat. So because of the friction, the heat's going to get generated in this. Not a substantial amount, and it's probably only a few percent. But if you are using this for long periods of time, you will notice it. You will have to put more effort in to actually do that same screwing with the ratcheting one. That's not just specific to Wera, that's with everything, because there are losses in that mechanism, in that gearbox. You will end up having to put a little bit more effort, and you can see that little bit of give. Actually, let me lock that. You can see that little bit of give there. Obviously, comparing that just to a normal screwdriver, there's nothing. There is literally no give at all. That just locks right in. The other thing to note is as well, obviously it depends on what bits you put in here, but these Wera ones here don't have that laser tip, whereas on the normal screwdrivers, a lot of them have that laser bit here. So it's not a substantial difference. It does, obviously, the laser etch, sorry, not laser bit, so laser etching on the end does make a difference. It does kind of just hold that screwdriver in really nicely. You can see this one, you can go almost vertical before it falls out. It just holds in there really nice. But with this one here, it is also quite a bit heavier. It just tends to fall out a little bit sooner. It's not a massive difference, but a little bit sooner. Definitely the defining feature of this one is the ratchet, and then the small form factor. So obviously a lot smaller than this one with the big shaft. And what you can do is you can just get a kit like this, or you can get these with kits of actual bits as well. So then you can just kind of hold that one in there and have this as a little bit of a portable kit. So obviously that takes up a lot less room than a whole bunch of these. So the 6 screwdrivers here, obviously it takes up a lot of room. Instead, you can just have that and a lot more in a set like this. So I do like this, really nice. As I said, sort of the features are, it is quite heavy on the front. So when you pick it up, it does have more weight to it. It will pivot forward. But it is a little bit less noticeable, I guess, once you've got that shaft in, because you sort of expect that weight to be there anyway. So a little bit less of a big deal there. But it is heavier, it is a little bit bigger, and you just have that little bit of wiggle room, whereas with the normal ones you don't. The other thing I did want to mention is I've used this small handle, or this is the medium size handle here. So that's the normal full size handle, that's a medium one, and then they make smaller handles as well. But this medium one is, I think, kind of a nice medium, really, in between. So on the bench in the workshop, I've got the full set. Obviously, I like the big handle, the full set is nice. But for a portable set, so I've got one of these in the car, it's actually really nice to have this medium handle, because it is just that bit smaller, and it just fits in and tucks in a little bit nicer than the big one. So actually, this is probably a good way to show that difference. So see, the thickness it's quite a big difference there. With the physical size here, that the length isn't that big, but the width is. So what that'll mean is with this handle, you won't be able to get as much torque as with the normal full size handle. And that's simply because of the diameter. So the wider the diameter, the more torque you can generate, because the further away from the center of rotation you're actually pushing. So it'll be easier for you to generate a lot more torque than with this one. But again, the really nice thing with Wera is all of this is interchangeable. You can make your own kit, you can buy one of these handles and then take whatever bits you've got. Again, you can take Milwaukee, you can take whatever else you want, whatever you use, and it'll just work. So you can kind of customize whatever works well for you. But pretty happy with it so far, as long as you keep those things in mind that it's a little bit heavier. So I'll also put links to all of this down below in the description. So if you do want to check any of this out, there'll be Amazon links there. If you buy it through that, you're just supporting the channel. So that's very much appreciated. That's it. Quick review of this wear out ratcheting bit holder. So thanks very much for watching and have a good one.